Philosophy to Dostoevsky's continue. Fourth part. All sins burn in the fire of wisdom. All sins burn in the fire of wisdom. Arjuna. Sacrifice through knowledge is superior to sacrifice performed by materialistic things. For all works without any expectation culminate in wisdom. The God is the life giving who gives us freedom of action and liberation from the bondage. Arjun, you should learn the true nature of the knowledge by approaching ultimate soul and requesting them to provide you the spiritual knowledge. By inquiry and by service, the wise seer of truth will instruct you the knowledge. Wise men will teach us the truth if we approach them in spirit of service and reverent inquiry. Until we realize the God within, we must act according to the advice of those who have had the experience of God. We must act according to the advice of those who have had experience of God. If we accept, what is said in the scriptures or taught by the teachers in unthinking trust, that will not do. Reason must be satisfied. He who has no personal knowledge but has only heard of many things cannot understand the meaning of scriptures, even as a person has no idea of the taste of the shoe. Continue today. There are several teachers who require their followers unthinking obedience to their dictates. They seem to believe that the death of intellect is the condition of the life of spirit. Many credulous and simple minded people are drawn to them not so much by their spiritual powers as by the publicity of their agents and the human weakness for novelty, curiosity, and excitement. But mere intellectual apprehension will not do. Intellect can only give fragmentary glimpse of the beyond, but it does not give the consciousness of the beyond. We must open the whole of our inner beings to establish personal contacts. The disciple had to tread the interior path. The ultimate authority is the inner light, which is not to be confused with prompting of desire. By the quality of service and self-effacement, we note down the obstructing prejudice and let the wisdom shine in us. Truth achieved is different from the truth imparted. Ultimately, what is relieved in scriptures, what is thought out by the mind, and what is realized by the spirit through service and meditation must agree. This verse makes out that in spiritual life, faith comes first, then knowledge, and then experience. Those who have experienced the truth are expected to guide us. The seer owes a duty to their less fortunate brethren and guide them to the attainment which they have reached. Wisdom is supreme. All the actions and fruit of actions are burnt in the fire of wisdom. All the actions and fruit of actions are burnt in the fire of wisdom. When we get out of desires, clouds, then a lamp of wisdom light in where there is no clouds of desires. There are no demands. There are no hopes. There is only full satisfaction within. Oh Arjuna, you live like this. As the divine himself is living around you. As the divine himself is living around you. Do the work like this as the divine is standing ready to take the fruits of all action. Do the works like this as the divine is standing ready to take the fruits of all action. We cannot desire divinity because desire only takes us away from divinity. Desire is standing in between you and divinity like a rock. The desire is only problem. To meet the God, wisdom is supreme. All the action and reaction burn in the knowledge of wisdom. You see what the poet is saying. You see what the poet is saying. देखा है हर चाहवनी देखा है हर चाहवनी आखिर में दुख का कारण देखा है हर चाहवनी आखिर में दुख का कारण फिर भी चाहे मोक्ष अधर फिर भी चाहे दर्श अधर चाहना आखिर ना छोड़ा चाहना आखिर ना छोड़ा आगे फिर कहते हैं चाह गई चिंता गई मनवा बेपरवाह चाह गई चिंता गई मनवा बेपरवाह जिसको कछु न चाहिए वही शहंशाह देयर इज a very good story in this regard. You like to understand all this by this story. One king said to all his wise members that I want to know how the divinity is dissolved in this world. And as well as in all of us as like salt in ocean. Tell me, where is this divinity pervaded or permitted? There were wise persons in the courtship of young but of the king, but they were all that type only, as they should be. There was no spiritual sage or knowledgeable person. It is not good to hope like that personality there. All members were wise and scholars. They all fall in great trouble and worry. They have tried their level best to satisfy the king. They have given lot of examples, but king said, show me that divinity. Show me that divinity which is hidden in all places. All were in great trouble. King said, I give you time till tomorrow. You must tell me, otherwise, if you could not tell, you all will be fired. It was a big problem. It was a big problem. His watchman was also hearing all this. Other day, when all courtship members not turned up, the watchman said, Your Highness, no one has turned up. Time is already over. And whereas I understand they will not come now, because if they were having the answer, they could have given yesterday itself. They could have given yesterday itself. If you allow, Your Highness, I can give you the answer. King said astonishingly, You watchman, always standing on the door, you will give me the answer. He said, Yes, I will give you the answer. King said, Oh, come on and give me the answer. He said, First you step down from the throne. He said, First you step down from the throne. I will sit on the throne and you bow down to me. King said, What are you talking? Like a fool. He said, Then you will never get the answer. Whoever sit in your feet, they cannot reply you. Because if they are able to give the reply, they could have made you to sit in their feet. The watchman again said, Step down from the throne if you want the answer. King was suddenly confused. There was no one in the meeting hall. Watchman said, Come down. When you have asked the question, and I will must give the answer. King came down and sat on the floor. Watchman sat on the throne. Watchman said, Bow down to me. King bowed down the head in front of the watchman. King realized the happiness of bowing down first time in his life. King realized the happiness of bowing down first time in his life. But after bowing down, when the king has not came back to his position, then watchman said, Now you get up. King said, Just wait. Let me enjoy this experience some more time. I have never tasted such happiness. Just wait. There is no haste for the reply. After some time, watchman said, Now you raise your head. Don't you want the reply? King saw up at his face and said, I got the reply. King saw up at his face and said, I got the reply. I was proud, therefore I could not find out that divinity. Today when I bow down, I find out that divinity. Where I was searching outside, he is at all the places. He will be definitely even inside me. By bowing, all are dissolved in that only. I got the reply, you are my teacher. Without saying, I got the reply by bowing down, without prejudice. Then whoever is an enlightened one, the flow of knowledge from him can flow towards you. You can cross over all the sins by the boat of wisdom. You can cross over all the sins by the boat of wisdom. Even if you are the most sinful of all sinners, you shall cross over all sins by the boat of wisdom. As the fire which is kindled turn its fuel to ashes, all action and work done, you shall cross over all sins by the boat of wisdom as the fire which is kindled turn its fuel to ashes. All action and work done. Lord Krishna is saying something different. He is saying, if you are the biggest sinner of your time in all the sinners, even though incident of receiving knowledge will destroy all your sins, that means sins are nothing in themselves, like the darkness. Darkness is nothing in himself. Suppose there is darkness in one house which is locked since 100 years. Now this house is closed since 100 years of or 100 days. It does not make any difference to darkness. You have lighted the lamp, and 100 years old darkness is no more there. When you light the lamp of knowledge, sins are no more there. When you light the lamp of knowledge, sins are no more there. You cannot cut the sins with virtues. Sins are to be cut down by the sword of wisdom. Sins are to be cut down by the sword of wisdom. Lord Krishna is saying, you just search the rays of light of wisdom and rest in peace. Whatever you want to live, you will live automatically. Whatever you want to gain, you will gain automatically. A wise person never falls in the hand of doing. The fire of wisdom burns the whole doing and fruits of doing. Cut the ignorance with the sword of wisdom. Cut the ignorance with the sword of wisdom. Actions do not bind anyone who has dedicated all his actions to God, and according to spiritual yogic action, who has destroyed all doubts by wisdom, and whoever poses his soul. Therefore, having cut with the sword of wisdom this doubt in the heart that is born of ignorance, establish yourself in the action yoga in the shape of even temper and stand up for discharging your duty. Arjun is hereby called upon to perform action with the help of knowledge and concentration. Doubt in his heart whether he is to fight or abstain in the product of ignorance. It will be destroyed by wisdom. Then he will know what is right for him to do. Who has become doubtless and who has surrendered to all his action to God. He has become empty from within. Such a person is not bounded by his action. Such a person is not bounded by his action. All has been left to God. Surrender is problem. Pride comes in between. After dropping the pride, you can surrender. After diffusing the doubt, you can surrender. Surrender is in total happiness. Surrender is total happiness. Only when you are prideless and doubtless, there must not be the place to say you, even, but it is the matter of far away. Actually, we are not able to say you. First, let us be able to say you. We have never gone out of our I. First, let us leave our I. Then we will leave you also. Lord Krishna is saying, then there is no bondage. No action binds you. Lord Krishna is saying, hey Arjuna, you get in equality and cut the doubt by the sword of wisdom. Equality means natural, neither this side nor that side. Neutral, neither this side nor that side. Not in favor any side, not in disfavor of any side, but over and above both of them. Over and above both of them. When the wisdom is equal, then the light comes. And Lord Krishna is saying to cut the doubt by the sword of wisdom. Example, there is happening in the life of Ramakrishna Paramhans. Ramakrishna has worshipped Mother Kali so many years. Whenever he meditates, Mother Kali comes in his dream. But Ramakrishna was not satisfied. Until and unless you get into oneness of divinity, you cannot be satisfied. One sage was staying there in the ashram named Totapuri. Ramakrishna said, I want to get the oneness of divinity. That sage said, raise the sword of wisdom and cut the picture of Mother Kali into two pieces. Cut the picture of Mother Kali into two pieces whenever it comes in your meditation. Ramakrishna said, what are you talking? Mother Kali to cut down into two pieces. Please don't say like this. Sage said, until the picture is destroyed, until the picture is not destroyed, there is no entry into the faceless form of divinity. He thought the sage is right. How it could be possible to enter the faceless form of divinity? Ramakrishna agreed with the sage. He sat in meditation, closed his eyes. Tears started to follow. Sage asked, have you broken the picture of Kali into two pieces? Sage said, until the picture is destroyed, there is no entry into the faceless form of divinity. He thought the sage is right, how it could be possible to enter into the faceless form of divinity. Ramakrishna agreed with the sage. He sat in meditation, closed his eyes. Tears started to follow. Sage asked, have you broken the picture of Kali into two pieces? Ramakrishna said, I was so happy that I forgot. Again he started to say, but from where I will get the sword there? Sage said, from where you brought the picture of Kali, bring the sword from the same place. There was no problem to bring the picture of Kali, then what is the problem to bring the sword from the same place from where you brought the picture of Mahakali? Sage has picked up a piece of glass from somewhere and said to Ramakrishna to sit in the meditation. He told him that when you will be happy enough in meditation, I will cut your forehead by the piece of glass. At that moment, you also take courage and raise the sword. Ramakrishna started to meditate again. Kali came into his meditation. He was happy enough. In the meantime, that sage has cut his forehead by the piece of glass. Blood started to flow. Ramakrishna also raised the sword on Kali and picture of Kali fell down. Ramakrishna had gone into deep meditation. Ramakrishna woke up from the meditation after 3 days and said, last barrier has also broken. Whoever raised the sword of wisdom and cut the doubt, all happiness fall down along with doubts, and the door opens which leads to divinity. Arjun has never sat with the sages. His whole life was spent in fighting the wars only. Therefore, he is going on questioning the Lord Krishna time and again. Before the Krishna gives the reply, he raises new question. Arjun was full of doubts and unknowledgeable in spirituality. He was saying the same type of question just by changing the words, and Krishna replies Krishna replies were also not new. Reply is also the same. Raise the sword of wisdom and cut all the doubts within. Raise the sword of equality and see all in one. Janak understanding was very good. He was going on arranging the debates between the scholars of his state in every year. So he was better positioned than Arjun. As soon as the Ashtavakra said, "Why you have called all these shoemakers here to see me? I am not bent, only my body is bent, not I." And the Janak became stunned. These people are looking my body, not me. They are specialists in viewing the body. It means they are not able to see my eye, which is within. This has pierced the heart of Janak. He caught the feet of Ashtavakra and got the blessing from Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra has given him the wisdom of oneness and gracefulness form of divinity. Arjun is not like Janak. Janak was arranging the spiritual events every year in his courtship. Hence he was having somewhat bliss within. Somewhat rays of spirituality were already present there. Therefore, his statement of Ashtavakra immediately touched his heart like an arrow. This body is bent, not I. Look at me. I am not bent from anywhere within. I am not the body. Janak has understood and Janak has caught hold of that. And then Janak has taken the real knowledge of oneness, of divinity, and got fully satisfied. There was nothing to get anything more. Therefore, Lord Krishna has taken the name of Janak, who has got this wonderful knowledge of oneness, of divinity. You are not the first man, Arjun. Before others also got the knowledge. You also follow, please. You also follow, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you.